Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to hang your set of paintings. I obviously don't have a regular wall setup because I'm camping right now in an RV, so I'm going to do it on this piece of plywood against this shipping container. Now to start with, you're going to take your biggest canvas and you're going to square that up to the ceiling. So the easiest way to do that would be to take a tape measure and pretend that the shipping container is the ceiling. You're going to measure down at the same distance for 2 different screws or nails for your biggest canvas. Now another easy way to do it, if you want your whole set to be close to the ceiling, like a foot or 2 away, you can actually use the canvas as your straight edge. Bump it right up against the ceiling, and you'll use a pencil or just nail it right in, but I'm going to use a big marker just to show you. So you can draw a straight line, and that's going to be a level line with your ceiling. So then you would put 2 screws into that, and you would hang your first canvas off of those 2 screws and start from there. Now let's pretend that those 2 screws were up here just because I've run out of table space to be able to do it. So you get your 2 even screws, whether you use a tape measure or you use one of the canvases to square it up to the wall and draw a line. And then this first one will hang on those 2 screws and it'll be square, it'll be level. Unless your ceiling is at an angle, and then you'll actually need to use a level, but most ceilings are square. So once that first one is in place, the easiest way to get the second one, I'll go to the next big one and get it in place, is actually using the canvas itself. Now the back of the canvas has an 1.5 inch stretcher bar. So if you look, this whole set, the bottom line is parallel on all of them when they're in place. And then the top line of this are parallel, so it makes it real easy to hang. What you're going to do is you're going to take this first canvas, you're going to go line it up so that the bottom of this canvas is right at the top of this stretcher bar, and then you'll draw a short line, just about 6 inches, on your wall, and then you'll put 2 screws or nails on that line, and when you flip this over and hang it off of those nails, you'll have room to slide it side and side, and the bottom will be square with the next canvas. So usually what I do is I use one of the other canvases, and then you get that exact 1.5 inch distance from this canvas to this canvas. It's hanging on 2 nails as well as that one. It's all lined up, and then you'll go to your next canvas. You'll do the same thing. So this is 1.5 inch. If you square up this line with the bottom of that and just put it right against this canvas, square up the edge, then you can draw a short line. You'll put 2 nails or screws, whatever you need to use for your wall, and then you can hang this. Use one of the other canvases. They're all the same width, so use one of them to space it the right distance. The bottom line should line up, and it should hang way better off those 2 nails than if you were to use a wire or anything, because it won't move side to side. It'll just hang perfectly on the top of the stretcher bars on those nails. So once you've got those 3, you'll do the small ones. The small ones are a little bit trickier because they don't have a whole lot of space, so you may have to put a couple of nails and then bend the nails slightly to get it level, but it's the same basic principle. You'll look at it here, I'll put one to space it out here, and then you'll put your nails in on this one little tiny inch line, and then this should hang perfectly. If it hangs slightly crooked, it's easy to just bend one of the nails up or down and get it to where it's level. Those are going to be your trickiest ones. After you get those, you'll have your whole top line. This canvas squares up to right here, so you'll have a straight line. You could take one of the other canvases and you could drop it in here and get your distances proper here, and then you can flip this over and you can just kind of eyeball it, figure out where this line needs to be, and that's where you're gonna put your next line. So it'll be the distance of 2 canvases this time. Always draw your lines against the back so you're not drawing on the painting, but this distance will be the right distance for your nail. So if you were to put another line in right here, then when you put 2 nails on that, and it'll need to be a little bit of a longer line, this will hang exactly this distance from the canvas above it. And you'll square up this. You can take one of your canvases to line it all up. It should fit right between it like this. and then you'll start the next one. You take another canvas on the wall, and obviously you're going to run out of canvases to square them, but the top canvases are in place. So you can pull one of those off and use it to help square up the bottom ones as you're finishing, and then you'll just eyeball it to get it back into place. You know, you can eyeball center, get it perfect in between those others. So it should be fairly simple doing it this way. And I'll send you a better picture of the whole set together so you can figure out which ones go where. But the light sources on top, it's pretty easy to go light to dark and line them up small to big and then back down to small again. And my signature is on the bottom right hand corner one, so that one's easy. I only sign one canvas because that just looks better on the wall. But then it goes small to big again. Remember, light to dark. So light is on the top, dark's on the bottom. Some of them you can actually see brush strokes, how they line up between canvases, but not all of them, so you're just going to have to eyeball it somewhat from the picture that I send, and it shouldn't be too hard. So that's the basics. Hopefully that gets you through hanging them. It's a little bit tricky. It might take you an hour, but that will get them all perfectly distanced from each other and should look great on your wall.